Well, as you know, the internet connects us all, which means it can also threaten us all. Cybersecurity expert Vikram Phatak, the CEO of NSS Labs, is here. And Vic, you just got back from Davos, Switzerland, and the World Economic Summit there. It had to be fascinating. But is there a worldwide consensus on the threat that's out there in cybersecurity and what the biggest dangers are?
Well, yes. I mean, the thought process right now is more around the problems with social media, B, the lack of governance, and now boards are getting involved because the unfunded liabilities right now potentially, meaning all the if the risks out there are, say, $500 billion, which is what I heard this year in Davos, $500 billion.
Right.
That means that there's going to be a lot of companies that are hacked, a lot of individuals that are compromised through the credit cards, that banks are going to be incurring losses. And do they have the capital reserves to deal with those, and what does that all mean? So as soon as you start talking about that kind of money and potential major events for companies and individuals, what kind of governance, what kind of metrics, what kind of measurements, can we get more scientific about things? It's no longer just about the technical people trying to do the right thing. Now the business people are getting involved to really understand what they're dealing with.
$500 billion will get people's attention. Are we talking more about the hacks like we saw at Sony, and are the biggest actors in this nation states, let's say China or North Korea, that are trying to infiltrate large corporations?
So there's that. If it's a large corporation, then generally there's concern around nation states. If you're talking about you or me individually, probably not, but it may end up being the North Koreans, for example, because for lack of a better description, they're a mafia state, right? So a lot of the way they make money in that country is through cybercrime that they then monetize through Bitcoin, bring it back home, and so on. So when you have a country gunning for mom and dad or you or me, as well as most companies, it's a problem.
So how are people most vulnerable online, and what can we do collectively to try to combat that? Well,
so part of it is making sure that we have the right tools, right? So making sure your operating systems are the latest Windows 10, the latest Apple operating systems if you're running iOS or Mac or whatever. Making sure that from a security product perspective you're running something, and it may cost you some money, right, as opposed to the free stuff, but making something sure that you have tools that are effective. Other than that, it's candidly going to be up to a lot of your carrier. So whoever's running your high-speed cable modem or your DSL, folks that are have the big teams that try and deal with things to try and stem some of these attacks.
So somebody, let's say like myself, that's running a 9-year-old Mac Mini, maybe we should upgrade that, huh?
Probably a good idea.
All right, Vic, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it. This is a subject that unfortunately we're going to have to learn more and more about as we continue and we grow in the computer world and technology.
All right, thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right.